Well, again, thank you so much for hosting this. I've learned so much here today. One thing you can do to help us is just getting the word out to descendants. The applications just opened on February the 15th, and they are open until April the 30th. And so then we'll be meeting after that for about 6 weeks to make awards. But yeah, just get the word out if you would. That would be really helpful. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Share the website.
Yeah, the website is just forsythscholarship.com.
Okay.
I've got some little cards here too. I can hand out.
Steve Green?
Pastor, I don't have anything to add, really, except that I have learned so much that I didn't know. Someone mentioned that their parents or grandparents didn't share as much about, what happened. Did you ask? Sometimes we need to just ask them stuff if they're still alive.
Sure.
And even their descendants, just ask.
Very good. Thank you. Judge Harris?
I'm going to piggyback on what Brian said. In order to affect change, you have to be that agent. So you have to, if it's just you, if it's two of your buddies or whatever, make sure you stay involved in the system, because that's the only way the system is going to change. It's not going to change if you're sitting there worried about the Super Bowl when they're kicking black kids out of school. So I'm just telling you, you have to get involved in the system. So just do that. And usually I give out my phone number, and I'm going to do it again. It's 678-558-0548. If you got any problems, questions, call me. And trust me, I will call you back.
We'll call you back. Thank you, Judge. Pastor? I'll repeat it. Do not call him to get out of jail free card. I got that one already.
678-558-0548.
I'll give you my number later. Thank you for drafting me for this panel. I am unprepared today, but thank you so much. Thank you for the scholarship program. It is needed, but encourage people. This civic thing gets to me because I worked with Black Voters Matter all over the state of Georgia this past year, and a lot of people are complacent, and you got to tell your neighbor you can't be complacent. Again, if you want to make change, you got to get out and you got to walk a little bit. Okay, you got to stretch a little bit. Even when you're tired, you got to stretch a little bit. So keep that in mind, and I really thank you. We need to do this a little more often.
That's right. Anything you like to share?
Yeah, the saddest part of all of this for me has been imagining the fear that these people must have had on those nights when they had to gather up what little they could and hit the road. I think about the most fearful time in your life, and then think about what this could have been to them. I can't imagine it. I really can't. And in addition to the land and the belongings and the home that my grandparents had worked hard for and had to leave, my grandfather also had a school for the Black children in the community. I didn't know anything about that until my brother got that information from my aunt. And so you think, okay, he's got a little room where he has the kids come and, he's teaching them ABCs. I didn't know how detailed it was. I just got my grandfather's death certificate this week, and for occupation, it had teacher, merchant, and there was one other thing on there. But so he was a teacher, and so having to leave that and having to leave the opportunity to teach Black children, so that their lives can be improved, all of that, it just makes you want to cry. It really does. But all of this, the Remembrance Committee, you, the scholarship, it gives me hope. It gives me hope. And I know that every person in here is gonna tell the story. And that gives me hope. Nothing like this will happen again. Thank you for having this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, you want me to?
Yeah,
I'm a college professor, and I know when people are starting to shift around in their seats a little bit, so. I'm just gonna wrap it up with some thanks. First of all, I wanna thank you all for sharing your stories, sharing the histories of your family. It means a lot. Thanks to all of you for coming. Thank you to the Forsyth Remembrance Project for your work on remembering this in Forsyth. Thank you for putting together the scholarship. This is all very important. And I tell folks, you know, when I go to Washington, I carry these stories in my heart. And every decision I make, you know, comes with those stories carried with me. And so I knew as I talked to people around this district, as I did the different campaigns for the 7th district, that this story needed to be told. This resolution needed to be offered. We needed to have this conversation in this community. And I'm very grateful to you all for, you know, voting for me and putting me in this position so that I could do that. And I just promise you as I go forward, I will carry these stories into every decision that I make in the future. Thank you for being here.